Hello, my friends. This is Sandy. This video is going to walk us through my Kintsugi Inspirations 10 page. In your kit, if you got the kit that I created, you've got some beautiful gems. These are the iridescent foil gems, and then some of the brushed brass butterflies. These are pretty heavy. It's kind of cool um, that they're really brass. Okay, so you got those for your bling. There's the 10 pages that we're going to create. Supplies needed are these two stamp sets, the Imperfections stamp set and the Swirled Designs stamp set. You're also going to need some inks, Old Olive, Misty Moonlight, Calypso Coral, and Pretty Peacock. You'll need a VersaMark ink, some gold embossing powder, a heat tool because we are doing heat embossing, so you will want a heat tool if you're going to do all the extra techniques. A white gel pen, a blue journaling pen, scissors for sure, and plenty of adhesive. If you're coming over to create, bring your adhesives and your scissors, and I've got the rest. You can just use my stuff. First thing you're going to do is you need these pieces all cut out. So each one of the vases you're going to cut out separate, and same thing with the flowers. If you're coming over to create the um, Imperfections dies, have dies that fit the flower, the big vase, and the little vase, so you don't have to scissor cut these if you don't feel like it. But it's easy enough to scissor cut if you don't have the dies. Okay. So let me walk through what comes in your kit and how you're going to assemble it. Um, if you have never heat embossed, I'll do a separate video just on heat embossing, but see how shiny those little speckles are? Or um, here, here's Mother Good one to look at. These little spots up here are all gold embossed, so they're a little bit raised. That heat embossing is so cool. All of this along the top of this page is all using the VersaMark ink. So first you stamp with the VersaMark ink. It's like a super sticky, so then the powder sticks to it. You brush off the extra, like give a tap and brush off the extra, and then heat it. And it starts off as powder and then gets all shiny. Wicked cool. Okay. So that's the technique. You'll see different places where I've used the Swirled Designs Stamp Set in the background. These flowers right here that I kind of, I'll bring this up close so you can see this. Here's some flowers, here's some flowers. So those are just done with the Calypso Coral ink. And then I went through with a blue journaling pen and just did little dots in the middle of the flower. Then again, there's that gold embossing, a little bit of stamping, and then here I used foam tape dimensionals to pop that up. So let's talk about your what comes in the kit for you to make this. You've got your 4 photo wells, and then all of these 1.5 by 6 inch pieces. And it really doesn't matter if they're exactly the way that I place them, but you're going to do 2 together and then a 3 inch space and another 2 together. Mhm. And then a 3 inch space. Then down here, you're going to offset that. Again, whichever ones you want to use, you've got lots of choices, fronts and backs. Flip over whichever ones you want to flip over. So you're going to do that layout for both of these pages. So that's the basic design. Then add your photo wells. So we've got this one where you can put 2 4x6s or sets of 3x4s. Options, right, with that big kind of mat. Then a 4x6, a 4x4, and a 3x4. And you're just going to finish off with whatever fun stamping and embellishing and blinging up you'd like to do. You know, if you don't want to use the butterflies or however you want to do it. Make it your own. So that's our first set of pages right there in this kit. Here's our next set of pages, again using that same splotchy dotted stamp from the Swirled Designs to do your embossing with. So that's kind of scattered around. You can do that before or after, it doesn't matter. All right, so the basic layout of this is one of these on either side, one of these on either side, then one of these, and these are both going to get torn down the side. So that you end up with about an inch on the edge. So this is about 2 3/4. So if you put these ones about 2 3/4 of an inch in, then line up the rest of them along there. It'll be close enough, you won't have to worry. Then we've got our photo wells that will go on next. Again, with this one, you've got options, right? So you could do 4x6 pictures, you could do 3x4s, a variety of 3x4s and 4x4s options. All right, so that's how those are all going to lay out. That'll take care of all of the pieces. Then it's just a matter of adding whatever vases and flowers and embellishments you'd like to do to finish off those pages. Really simple and easy. And I did do blue dash marks down the side of the blue closest to the blue half-inch strip there. Just for a little accent, you could also do squiggle lines around the edge if you wanted to do some more journaling. So with this next set of pages, you've got these two Misty Moonlight. You're using the light side of the Misty Moonlight, and you're going to take the star stamp or whatever stars you have in your set of stamps, and that's what I did on those two pages or those two strips. I used the embossing powder and VersaMark ink in these two stamps here to do these fun little cracks along the top. We've got this piece that's going 2 1/4 inches. Nope, sorry. Yeah, 2 1/4 inches up. Then you put your little 1/4 inch strip and then tear that blue piece that you added the stars to. That'll go there. You've got your photo wells. Then you've got these little pieces. So we've got 3 green ones and 3 blue ones that I dovetailed each of them. So whether you fold or you cut up the middle and then make your little marks, however you like to do it, you're going to add dovetail marks to each of those 6 pieces. And then on the green ones, I did little dots with the blue ink or the blue marker. Add your photo wells, and then we've got, let's bring this up close so you can see, we've got 3 of our lovely little jars up there. I know you'll get through this and be stronger for it if you decide you wanted to add those words, but really wait and see what sentiments you want to use for these pages. That's the great thing I think about this particular set of 10 pages is if you don't add the sentiments, it's very generic. You could use this for really anything you wanted to do. Makes it a little more fun, I think. All right, then we've got some jars and bling up here, jar and bling down here. So with this next set of pages, you've got this strip here that I added the flowers from Swirl Designs to that 1/2 inch Pretty Peacock strip. So I left it full for you. You're just going to cut it when the time comes. But I think it's easier if you just stamp the whole thing, emboss it, and heat it all at once. All right, so this layout, we've got 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by 11. Then we add our 2.5 inch strip with a 1/4 inch by 11 in, or sorry, 1/2 inch by 11 piece that goes on the outer edge so that it looks like this is all one piece, but really it's 8.5 by 11 with an extra strip out there. Then we've got, um, if you look here, let me bring this up close. I've stamped this stamp right here. This is one of my new favorites, you guys, Swirled Designs. I love that how easy it is to add something a little extra to a page, right? Just with this stamp set. So this one right here is what I used to just make some fun little background drop for all of our accents. So let me go to our page here. We already discussed all of those. You've got your photo wells. Then these two pieces are the same size. So again, you're going to carry that across, but you can, now that we have this one embossed, you can just take this and cut both of these at the right length so that you'll end up with all of these pieces the right size. So it's a total of 12 inches, but we're cutting it at, let me double check, I think it was 4.5. 4.25. So if you cut these two at 4.25, then you've got everything just the way you want it. I did a little thanks for helping me down here. Again, just to show off the stamp set and the different imperfection stamps. Again, I would say hold off on that and wait and see what you end up putting on your pages. Again, clusters of our vases, some flowers, and some bling. And let's take a peek at the last set of pages for this Kintsugi 10 page. Okay, so with this one, I used this stamp right here with the VersaMark ink and embossed these two pages at 1 3/4 to 2. So the stamp set's about 3/4 inch wide. So if you start, around 2 and 3 or 1 3/4 to 2 1/4, you'll end up with a line. Same thing over here. So we're just doing those two lines with the embossing. And then the layout, let me grab the paper so you can see how this one's going to go. So with this one, we've got our kind of tree branches coming across the middle. You want them to be evenly spaced left and right. So it gives you an inch on, maybe it's 3/4 inch on either side. Then we've got these fun 3x4 pieces. There's 3 in one color and 1 in another color. So put all your 3x4s down. And then we have some alternate pieces to kind of offset that look. So that's how those pieces are going to go. Okay. That and that. Then we've got our photo wells. This one, and this one. I did do some circle stamps. Let me bring this up close so you can see. I used this stamp right here to do these Misty Moonlight circles in the background. And when I did my white dash marks, you'll see I skipped over that so that it looks like the white dashes are underneath those blue circles. That was just an artistic decision right there. Okay, then again, our clusters of vases and flowers. Add some bling to finish that off. Again, the white gel pen if you decide. Pretty simple. The hardest part of this is if you're not familiar with the embossing, getting that part right and you really need to use a lighter hand so that you don't end up with mush and it keeps all the fun designs. But that's my Kintsugi Inspirations 10-page kit. I have two of these left. Let me know if your name needs to go on one of them. Thanks for watching. Please place a comment and share with your friends.